Ladies and gentlemen, this is Internet Personality Evangelist. It's V-Build time, and it's Reprolabels V-Build time. We're going to do Windblade's Reprolabels, which I got in the back here, my iPad set up with the quote-unquote instructions so I can see what I'm doing, and hopefully this will all go swimmingly. So I'll get my application tool out, and let's start off on Windblade's chest. So I did a little bit of scoping out of this sheet, and I believe that the top of her chest are these two stickers here, so I'm going to do those first. This is just a one-sheet deal. It's all on metallic. Looks pretty good. And should apply pretty well, too. Especially if I apply it, you know, with the knife somewhere where I'm not blocking off the most obvious directional placement spot. So, let's see here. Having focus is also probably helpful. Oh yeah, there we go. Have to go up a little bit. Generally, I find with Reprolabels, it's like you find the one very unique, very uniform edge. You line that up, and then everything afterwards is gravy. I think I found that and lined it up. I grab a Q-tip, to be honest. I tamp this down. This feels a bit too abrasive. I'm going to Q-tip this. This feels a bit safer. So why am I Reprolabelsing Windblade? Basically, I was curious how it would look. I currently have the plan of getting the Takara Tomy version, which I think just overall looks better. I picked this up while I was abroad and reviewed it. So I thought, what else am I going to do with it? I don't know, I'll put the Reprolabels on, see how those look. And we can you know, have the full suite of Windblade coverage. I saw a comment on the instructions Facebook comment section on the Reprolabels page. Reprolabels website's kind of crazy, by the way. But there was a comment on there which was, will these work with the Japanese release of Windblade, the LG, whatever. Hopefully, once that toy's out, you know, I can hold it up next to this one and we can see for ourselves if that's possible. I can't fathom how it wouldn't be, but with them being like the same toy. I guess it's just a case of, are you going to be covering up superior paint apps, or maybe even paint apps that are accomplishing what these labels are trying to add to this North American release? Q-tip, kind of invaluable, I think, for these stickers, cause especially the ones with these inward divots here. And it leaves a little bit of strandery behind, but some kind of soft pushing tool. It seems like it does wonders. And now we're going to do the lower part of the pectorals there, which I believe is this label here. We'll find out in a second. Oh, I'm upside down. That won't help. Okay. So I'll just go by edges here, I guess. Ideally, this will meet at the seam line. This does not feel like it's going right. I'm going to line this up in the center, I think, instead. Okay. Yeah, this feels a lot better. I'm lining it up along the ridge here, the inner curl. Just feels like it's a more symmetrical placement, regardless of the end result. There's some tilt going on here, though, that I don't like. Alright, that's better. It's not a perfect coverage. I'm not sure if I could have done the upper two stickers a bit better to match this one, or if I should have done this one first. But it seems fine. It's getting across the idea that this is all a bit shinier. I wonder now. What if I apply this one now? More so lined up with this seam down here. Getting a better feeling about this. I suspect if you're going to do this at home, do the bottom single sticker on the chest before these top two. Because these require a curved surface, and I didn't realize this, but they were going to end up lining up with this bottom one. And I think it's preferable to have all this stuff lined up. Especially since it's like red plastic underneath. So the edges, like it's all covered, but the edges I think are where I would want to have that red plastic filling in gaps more so than right in the center of the chest. Just applying a pressure here to hopefully get all the adhesive to really stick down. Because I also noticed that these were coming off rather easily when I I got the X-Acto into the edges. Hopefully that's all taken care of. So we'll see as time goes on. But yeah, there we go. The chest is done. So now the arms. I've got something that works. It's got a big slit in it because of the fins on her forearms. And her heels are indeed kind of being troublesome in keeping her standing while I'm going to get these stickers. Okay, are these... So clearly... These stickers here are the ones for forearms, but is there an asymmetry to this? There's an asymmetry to the ink, but the cut seems to be symmetrical. And I don't see anything denoting left or right on here, so I'm going to assume I can use either. Just for safety's sake, I guess. It reads this way. I'll use the left one on the left forearm. We'll use matching perspectives. That way, if there was an intent, I would assume that's how the intent worked. Although if there was an intent, I would assume that there would be a clear markation on the sheet saying L or R. We'll find out one way or another. I don't know why I need to do all this preamble talk. Alright, that placed nicely. And just like at first glance, you know, with 4 stickers placed... I guess in person, this makes more sense to me. A lot of Reprolabel sets, particularly for Classics toys, sometimes I look at the gallery/instruction placement guides on Reprolabel's site, and I kind of sit there going, like, what exactly are these stickers doing, other than just looking like a bunch of stickers on the toy? So in this case, I'm more so understanding now these are adding an extra bit of shine, just to, I guess, up the premium feel of the figure. Is that the kind of mentality that got us Vac Metal Chrome on Jetfire? I'm not sure. Maybe I am part of the problem. Okay, here we go. Literally everything is in the way. And then it's out of shot. But we persevered. The deed is done. I believe the sticker is placed. I don't think I need a Q-tip for this one. It's on a flat surface. I also noticed the Q-tip was leaving a lot of Q-tip strands behind, which bothers me. Tamp it a little bit, very gently, with the non-sharp side of the edge of the knife. Okay. Forearm's done. Is there another sticker on here? What's that pointing at? I guess on the front There must be another one. So those were on the outer sides. Looks like there's another red sticker for the front of the forearms. Which one are you? This is another one of the fun parts. Man, pointing the knife right at my own face when I change the zoom on here. Which of you match up to here? Is it the slit up here? So those are leg stickers. Those are for the wings. Or is that just pointing out the same sticker I already did? Oh, no, wait. It's got a blue thing. Oh, here they are. These ones. Okay. That took me a second. So this sticker goes here, because that blue thing matches up with the sculpted detail panel lining that's on her forearm. I don't think it's supposed to wrap around at all, though, so I'm going to assume it just... Yeah, this just goes right on the edge. This Q-tip nonsense is getting everywhere. Tighter, less cottony Q-tips are probably an invaluable tool for... just fix up my wording on that. The less cottony, the better. I guess some kind of rubber tamper would... Like, really soft, really gentle, non-abrasive rubber tamping tool would be another good thing to use to pat these down with actual precision. Alright, next up we've got... I spotted these, the little blue things on her shoulders. Because there's two sets of blue things, and I wasn't sure which were which. These upper ones are for her shoulder pads, these are for her knees. So we're going to use these upper ones first. I guess that's partly the intent of V-building a Reprolabel set as well, is hopefully this can be of service to anyone else who's picking up this set. And, you know, it's not definitive instructions by any means, but maybe it can give you a hand figuring out where some things go. I certainly have needed that help. I didn't want to V-build it because there were so many, and I wanted to not have to do all of it while still having a camera looking at it. But I did the Reprolabels for Generations Metroplex a couple of weeks ago, and that took me a while because their placement guide helped, but there was some very key stuff not on their placement guide, and I had to dig through a few galleries and a few reviews and some feedback threads on TFW to find like everything and where all of it is supposed to go. And eventually I did, and I only have a few spare stickers, and I think most of those are legitimate intended spare stickers. A lot of them are smaller silver ones, and there's not like a lot of them, because I know there's a whole range of them a lot of people thought were spares that actually went on some of the turret stuff inside one of his pectorals. But I don't know, we'll find out, I guess, someday. Yeah, the adhesive, once it grips and gets pressed in, it seems to really super stick. And those actually really help her look, I think, having that extra bit of blue up here on the shoulders. Next up is... Oh, okay, her fan. So I was debating doing this. I think I'm just going to do it because it's stickers. I can take them off if I don't like them. But there are labels to go on the front and back of her fan. I believe they're identical. Because once again, they're not marked front and back. I think the idea of these is to make her fan pop a little bit more. I'm just a little bummed out because I like the effect of the clear plastic here with the paint behind it, but I don't know if I like it enough, so I'm going to cover it for now. And then, you know, worst case, sometime in the future, I can always just pull some of these off, i.e. these ones. The effect is still there on the bottom. That's cool. That's actually making me feel a bit better about this. And then we're going to stick the other one on the painted side. If the edge would like to pop up. Thank you. Line up that half circle divot. Oh, or like just part of an oval divot. It's not really a half circle. Alright. One could say there might be merit to going in and trying to press the sculpted detail, like push the black parts into the sculpted detail, but I'm not sure if they line up perfectly. And at a glance, I don't think they line up perfectly, so I'm going to leave them alone as is. Generally, I find Reprolabel stuff, trying to push it into the sculpt, it's kind of like a coin toss 50-50 on whether that enhances stuff or just makes the sticker detail look worse for wear. This is also an excellent example, just ongoing through this whole V-build, of how irritating her heels can be. What's next? Side of her leg. What does the side of her leg look like? It's this shape with the rounded thing at the bottom. I think I spot what may go there. It's got to be... Are these single stickers? These are double stickers. These are two-piece stickers here. So I'm not sure if these are the ones. They match the shape, though. I bet you these are the ones, and the seam down the middle is just something I have to match up. We'll just find out. That's the best way to do it. Just give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, this definitely is matching the curvature of the panel lining on her thigh, so this must be what this is for. So, that was the easy one because there was nothing to match it up to. Now I really want to match this one up to its edge. I don't know how feasible that is. But Reprolabels do cut their stickers well. And this seems to go together pretty nicely. Okay. That was a lot less difficult than I expected. Yeah, that works. Getting into the stage of this now, I think, where I should probably do some of this stuff off camera once you've seen it once. So I'll just move on to this part of her leg down here for now. It's how I feel anyway. This is what I believe would be more fun to watch. But, you know, if you feel differently, let me know in the comments section. Which of these go where? There's two of these. I'm going to assume this goes on the edge of that bit of panel lining. Okay. Well, this whole sticker's starting to make more sense to me now that I'm looking at it going down. Yeah, that was definitely right. So what is the other one here? It's supposed to be a diamond-shaped one? I don't see a diamond-shaped one anywhere. That was definitely where that one was supposed to go. Diamond-shaped. Is this supposed to wrap around, perhaps? Am I thinking about this too hard? Because that tends to be the story of my life. Okay, I think I see. It's definitely one of these ones. Right, because there would be another one to go on the inside. Yeah, okay. I think it is this one here. And yes, this seems to fit. This fits. Yep, that's the right one. Okay. In this case, there's some doubled up stickers in there, but clearly, like, this sticker here, right, that would also fit there. So, that makes a lot more sense to me now. So let's do the other side of her leg, because now I think I get it. Yep, this makes a lot more sense. So we'll take this one here. You see how this has that that cut top? there. That fits in with how the sculpted line here cuts at the top. It's sensible. Oh, there's an air bubble. Or is that just a screw hole? That's a pinhole. Okay, never mind. I was worried for a second. So there will be a little divot there because of the pin here for the joint. Oh well. Front of her leg. That's where the other blue thing will come in. So these V-shaped ones here are for the fronts of her legs. Hopefully it lines up with the edge of the black. Not quite where I'd like it to be. I might leave this alone if it doesn't come off easily, though. Okay, let's do this head on. Just line up the top of the curvature. Okay, I'm a bit more happy with that. That looks really nice. I like that one. And one more for the front. Little cross-shaped bit of panel lining there. And we're going to use one of these stickers here. So let's get you set into place. Somehow this has way more to align with, and the sticker's cut really well, but it's also somehow making it even more difficult for me to place satisfactorily, because it's cut so well, I want it to fit super well. Okay, that looks nice. And before I go to do all that over again on the other side of her leg, perfect place for a little bit of a cut. There are stickers for her VTOL fins. There are a big line of stickers for every single one of her VTOL fins. So I'll apply one, and then you'll forgive me to hope that you guys can just assume how the rest of this will go once one has been applied. I gotta put that a bit lower down. I'm debating whether or not I should be popping these VTOLs out before I do this. See, I want to have this closer to the base axle of, the base of the axle. That's where the little curved nubbin on the end lines up best. So you don't line it up with the outer tip of the fan blade, you line it up right here on the inner part. Of course, it's not taking pressure very well. Is this easy to pop out? I'm going to try one more time. Okay, I'll adjust that. Okay, I think that's in. So we'll do that a whole lot more times. Twice. And then finish up her leg, and then we'll be back to do the big wing stickers. So, jump cut! So within like seconds, I basically went in there and used the handle of a filing tool I have, and I popped the VTOL fans out. It was really easy to do, and they're all stickered up now. You don't have to sticker the back. There are a few extras. There are 3 extras here on the sheet. But basically subtract 3 and you've got enough to do one side of each of the VTOL fins, and then they just mushroom peg on here, so it's really easy to get them back in place. And now they're all shiny. There are a couple more stickers I can do. They actually were on the jet mode picture, but I think one of them at least is going to be way easier to do here, because it is just a straight up crotch sticker. And I think the crotch is a lot more accessible in robot mode than in jet mode. Something, yep, you're clever. 15 people thinking what you're thinking. Anyway. Get the crotch plate aligned. I think that's on target. That is on target. Hooray! Alright, Windblade's crotch is all done up. Looks pretty cool, too. By the way, for reference, the rest of the leg stickers are done. So, this is how, whoops, this is how they all look. In case you want any help with your placement, hopefully you can tell what all is what. Like, there's a sticker, there's a sticker. And there's a sticker, there's a sticker. Alright, there's more there, but those are, I think, the most confusing ones I saw so far. And then the other pair of split thigh stickers. Really makes parts of this figure pop. To be honest, the only weak part I've seen so far is the chest. This trio of stickers have a lot of trouble looking anything but sticker-like, whereas everything else I feel is blending in way more. But let's get to the wings and see what happens there. So the wing stickers, I don't think you really need to be in vehicle mode to do these, because they're all, you know, they're right here. Just her heels are continuing to be a bother. There is a Shapeways set of replacement heels, which are basically giant wedges. As of, like, right now when I'm filming this, they're not for sale because they're being tweaked, but I'm really tempted to pick up a set of those and see how they turn out. But I'm going to take this really big wing sticker here. Now let's just go bold and let's go big. And get this thing laid down. This is by far, like, I think the biggest addition that this sticker set offers to the figure is to add some color to these wings. So, main question now is, what's the smartest way to place it? Alright, this feels good. Although it mainly feels good because I'll tell you the part that I'm lining it up with. Zoom in without cutting my fingers off. The main part I'm lining up here is, aside from all the obvious stuff, I'm aligning it to this little curvature here. Because everything else I think there's a bit of wiggle room, but that curvature there is not. And honestly, I probably should have folded this over just so I'd be sure where the edge is. And I got lucky there, and I think I hit the edge just fine. But the next one I'm going to definitely have that VTOL folded down before I do it. Okay, this is real satisfying, actually. That looks really cool. There's one other sticker I can do here, which is on the back. There are a couple of spots that can get reddened. And I believe, I think that these are matched up pretty well. I'll go for the flat bottom part as my grasping edge. We'll see which side these actually really fit in with. I'm not sure if they were cut for specific sides or not. And honestly, I still can't tell. I think my brain's playing tricks on me and telling me this one goes over here. But I don't think it really matters which one goes where. If it feels like it's supposed to go on the other one, just put it on the other one. They're right next to each other. Should be a pretty easy snap decision to make. And that places real well. I'll put the other one down too while I'm here. Ah, okay. Yes. So, that's a lot of the stuff I'm seeing back here. Let's go to the next part of the placement guide. I know there's some other stuff I could be putting down. Right, down here. This actually does call for jet mode. So I'll do the other side of this wing. just to get all that out of the way so you can see what all that looks like, and then I'll flip over to some other stuff, and then we'll go to jet mode to finish it off, I think. That's my tentative plan right now. We'll see if that plan changes over time as the winds carry us from V-build point to V-build. So the thing that goes here, I believe, is this label here. Let's get this off the sheet and on the toy. Once again, I probably should have done this first. Once again, I got lucky because these were cut pretty well. So if there's any edge that this thing could not afford to be janky on, it's the edge where a moving part is going through it. Okay. And then we've got big edgy sticker here. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. Thank goodness these wings are flexible. And thank goodness I got real lucky on where I laid this down, because that was precisely where it needed to be laid down. I altered my Q-tip. I pulled some of the fuzz off here, and I actually wetted it with some water and just made it a bit more tight. And it's been a valuable tool when it doesn't have Q-tip fuzz all over the place. Yep. This feels good, man. There's a little bit of a lip over here, and I'm not sure why. That's not an air bubble, is it? No, I don't feel one. Must just be a piece of... Oh, it's another one of these cases where there's a little lump here and an exposure for the... Oh, no, that's not it. What is causing that? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a trick of the eyes. It feels smooth, but in the light I'm seeing a bulge, and I'm not sure why. Yeah, you can see it there. I don't know what that is. It must just be a trick. Oh, you know what? Is that the copyright stuff? I'm not sure. Anyway, other than that, this sticker seems to have gone down okay. Except for that bit of air bubblage there. That was annoying to see. Okay. So, before I flip over to jet mode to get at those things, I'm going to see if I can just get at them right here. And I can. Who needs to flip over to jet mode? Not me. So, which ones were these? Yeah. These rectangles here. This is also helping me close in on a couple stickers that I was not actually sure about as far as placement goes. Get out of my way. These ones are pretty obvious, though. I could probably put this light over here a bit more. And this autofocus is flipping out, so I'm going to set that locked for a sec. Yeah, okay. So that's how that goes down. Quickly do the other one since it's not a giant wing placement. This goes right yonder. Hooah! Okay. Just a couple more stickers that I am trying to discern the identities of. I do not believe they're anywhere in this placement guide as far as I've seen. But, these three are the other wing stickers. It's these four here. That, and that. I do not know where those go. So, that means I'm going to flip over to the last picture where I do know where I'm seeing stuff. And that is for the sword sheath. So, we'll quickly do this one, then I'm going to go exploring on this toy during a jump cut and figure out where everything else goes. In the meantime, there should be some easy placements here. So we're just basically adding some, actually textured livery to her thingamadoo that she puts her sword in. You know, technical terms like that. These are definitely a thicker... Like, these are gold stickers, and then this black, like, I don't know how much this is showing up on camera, but it is like a thicker black ink that is imposed and slightly raised on top. And it looks gorgeous. It's maybe a little overly creative for those of you who just want something that, you know, is what you saw in the comics. But for me, my comic book Windblade is going to be the Takara Tomy one, so this one I'm a little okay getting kookier and more creative with. Unless this was in the comic and I just literally don't remember this livery because I was paying more attention to other stuff in the story. There's a good chance of that, unfortunately. Alright, so this little slit on the bottom. Hopefully this just plays nice and goes on smooth and quiet. And it did. Hooray! Alright, let's do that 2 more times. Nope, okay. I see how the rest of this works. So there's a short one and a tall one. So the tall one, there is a tall one and a short one as far as these 2 rectangular stickers. The tall one goes on top. And it is a joining piece to maintain the image of this flowing across the top of the sword, except that maybe this one goes on the bottom. Hang on, I'll see in a second. No, this is too long for that. Okay, so this just doesn't quite match up, I guess. This is a... That's surprising. It's very surprising. Yeah, the cut on this is not quite there. But this is definitely the longer of the 2. I am very surprised by that. It feels like the cut of this should have been another, like, couple millimeters up. That's a little disappointing. The effect is pretty cool, though, nonetheless. And then there's this other rectangle for the bottom. Oh, I took the wrong one. This is the other rounded slit for this side. Or maybe subconsciously that was my brain telling me, hey, why don't you put the 2 sides on first and then put the joiner piece on afterwards, you idiot. Whoop! Totally dropped it. But I'm back. Okay. Yeah, this one is cut much more on target. Like this, yeah, this totally fits there perfectly. This top one just, it seems to have been slightly miscut. Not sure if that was just a factory? I'm not even sure if that's what you call it. Not sure if this was a production error on mine or if there's a problem with the template file they're using. It's a very minor problem. It's not really the sin I may be making it out to be. It's just surprising. It seems like a minor oversight. Nonetheless, the rest of this lines up so nicely. I'm not really in a position to complain. Hope I lined it up nicely too. I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit off. Yeah. There's a lip up here still. Okay. So I'll line up the top first. It seems that's the tighter spot. Yeah, that's better. Alright, that is kind of cool. Adds a bit of life to the sheath. So, I'm going to add these remaining wing stickers and then discern the identity of these things, and we'll be right back with the end of this. I got them! Okay, I figured out where they went. You can tell because that one and that one are applied, partly because I wanted to just test and see if I was right. So, I'll do this one first with the blue stripe on it. Neither of these were very clear at all on Reprolabel's placement guide. I caught sight of them in the corners of a couple photos from the placement guide. So this goes on the inside of her wrist cuff, with that blue ideally matching up with the blue square on that part of the wrist. It will not match up perfectly, but I think it's more of an implied seam than a flawless seam. It seems to be the intent of the cut anyway. As you can see, it's close. It's just not like... It's not, like, super perfect, and clearly they couldn't just do a wraparound due to the curvature of some of the stuff here. So I just tried to get it as close as I can to matching up. And I still feel okay about that. But, yeah, that's where that one goes. The other one is one of those ones that actually is kind of staring you in the face in one or two shots in there. But I looked, I didn't see an arrow pointing it out. So, this red triangle bit here, I'm going to pull that out. It's not in perspective in a lot of these shots because, you see, here's the wing. It goes there. Like, on the outer edge of the wing to add a little pop of color right here. So, that's where those two stickers go. Guess what? Even though I think I might have said it like 2 or 3 times, I never ended up having to go to jet mode. Fully. I just had to partly transform Windblade's legs once. But here we are. Here's a fully Reprolabeled Windblade. Once I get her standing up. Get her sword in her hands. I think she looks pretty cool. This set definitely adds some pop. Its biggest effects, I think, are here on the crotch. Definitely on the wings. And every spot of shiny blue that's added is huge. The chest stickers are probably the weakest link, possibly also the gold stuff here up on her head fan. Those two aspects don't do much for me whatsoever. Everything else, though, adds just little hints of color here and there that are very welcome upon sight. And this stuff here on the sword sheath, it's kind of silly, but I kind of like it. And I like the very specific heavy black ink printing that was done to make it rise up off the gold backing. So it's a cool set. I got to think about it a bit more and definitely see what this looks like in comparison to Legends Windblade, the Japanese release when that comes out. But thanks for checking that out. That's been a V-Build. This has been Internet Personality Evangelist, and Reprolabels V-Builds, I got to do a few more of them. I've been letting that slack. They're kind of long, they're kind of weird, but they're worth doing in my opinion. Let me know in the comments, as always, and whether or not that takes effect, you know, we'll see. It probably will. If there's massive demand for these, I'll try to do more. If there's a massive outcry of we hate seeing Reprolabels being applied, then I'll just do a couple more. But I won't make any promises. I'm just going to close the video down. Boop!